Hello, beloved, and welcome to your message from God, okay, the big God himself. I thank you so much for your time. I thank you for joining me. Let us tap in and begin and find out what he has in store for you, why you were led or presented to this message by your ancestors or your YouTube algorithm, okay? Why are you here, beloved? Why were you attracted to the title? So prior to me beginning this message, God had asked me to pull out this card, which is the Queen of Cups reversed, okay? And he has asked me to label it emotional detachment, the emotional detachment card in this form, okay? So we'll put that over here. Secondly, here, I feel like what I'm gonna channel is someone's psyche, So the depth of this is not, don't take it personal because it's just someone else's perspective of you, someone else's perspective of this, a connection here, which I'm going to narrate in a moment. Okay. So here's what's going on, beloved. Okay. So we've been tapped into, I've been tapped into someone's psyche here on your behalf, as the one receiving this, the receiver of this message. I'm just the deliverance of it. So let's see. What role do I play as the vessel to this? Beloved, firstly, I'd like to say that the person you're dealing with is someone who is struggling with their mental health. You can identify someone by their struggle with mental health, mental acuity. Mental acuity is someone's level of capacity of understanding life for what it is. Someone's capability of being able to live outside of illusion within this instance, right? Someone's capability to see life and not just see life based on projection, emotions that they are feeling, So someone lacks that. And I feel like not only do they lack that, they might not have it. That quality of being, they might not have it at all, at all. So here we are now. I feel like this person is someone who has mental health issues. That's the first thing. That's the first narrative, right? The second narrative that you can identify this person with would be their ability to lie. Someone's ability to lie. Like, because you are a high priest, high priestess energy, you're able to see past it, see through it. Hence you are able to tap into a level of understanding about this person that they don't even understand within themselves. Like, you understand them more than they understand themselves here. I just feel like you're dealing with someone who did not want to accept that you were actually someone that was meant to be a teacher, however way the lesson came. Someone did not want to accept that, yes, that happened, or yes, that is who you are to them. It's like someone fighting the fact that you are well respected and powerful because they want that same status quo. So they want to go against the odds to maintain it in their reality so that it makes them feel better. Like they don't want to think of you like that. They want that image. Like everything else can wait. They want to be seen like that. So yeah, someone's ability to lie is the second narrative of how they can be identified. And the third narrative would be the fact that you see that you see that someone is losing it. Like you can see, like I feel like you can vividly see that someone is not headed in life in the correct path. Like you are watching this happen. I feel like you're watching someone go here. You're watching someone lose they good spirit, or their connection to God, or their connection to light. You're seeing someone perish here, or go into some form of dark night of the soul. I feel like you being exposed to this, you're seeing it, That's the third narrative here. So take all these narratives, how they apply to you. Either someone did not want to believe that you were who you were. They wanted to go against that. They were not okay with that. Okay? They wanted that same status. It's like that example where like the teacher and the beginner man, the mentee, like someone that's just fresh with something. The could be like life. You could be literally, I feel that this is what this is actually. I feel like you are just living a different quality of life, and someone is embarrassed that they thought they could attain the same rep, because I feel like they spoke out against you to people really believing what they were feeding themselves, that this was going to happen, or this was where you were going to be, or you need them, or they have some form of initiation of wisdom, knowledge, strength, or this person kept comparing themselves to you, and it's like they were lying to you, like pretending to be something they were not, or lying to people rather as well, because this person is a great liar. People don't know who they really are because they hide it well. Someone truly hides who they are well here. No one really knows this person the way they think, no matter how close they are to them. Someone is a shapeshifter, a chameleon of emotions, and just flows with everything that they feel, just takes over them and takes over them and takes over them. And imagine living like that. Like eventually you just crash, you just perish. Which I feel like this is where this person is headed. Someone here is unable to accept that this is their life and they need to do things the right way, not their way. Because this is someone that's in the comfort zone of their way or the highway. Their way works best for them. It's like someone who claims to be a prayer warrior, or someone who claims to be connected to God, but then likes to negotiate with God when it comes to life. Like they know shit. When God only negotiates with you when you're worthy of that rank, and that takes some form of attainment. You have to, it's attainable. That shit is attainable, yes. But yeah, it's attainable because you need to actually earn it. It's not something that you just can get. It's not accessible. It's attainable. You know what I'm saying? Like that guy that's out of your league is attainable because you can really break yourself down to fit his dream girl description and get him. But you needed to go through the breakdown. So that's what, you know, getting to that level of rank is. Negotiating with God takes you going through a breakdown. Who are you to come to God and tell him like what you think is best for you when you don't know shit about this shit? Like, he made it. You have to come for him and ask, not tell. This person is like, I feel like, you know, this breed of a person is someone that's all about like what they want, what is best for them, what they know, all these self concepts and self prophecies. I feel like God watches this person. Matter of fact, God entertains this bullshit. God does that so that this person can see God differently, because there's no other lesson that's meant to be learned outside of that. Because someone's in a fool's journey, a place where they don't belong, a direction that is the opposite. Someone's in their south node, not their north node, the detriment of their destiny. A narrative and analogy here would be myself, right? I can tell you this because I know you can't do anything about it. My north node, if it was in its opposite, it would have made me a really dark person, the opposite of who I am now. You know, it might have not been in the same manner, because I wouldn't have walked the same journey, but I probably would have attained the same power, just for different reasons. And what does that do? That fucks me up in the end, because then I find out that maybe I bit off more than I could chew. So I don't want to do that. I don't want to find out. I don't want to find out. I just don't. So I just stick to God, man. You know what I'm saying? Nothing else is worth it. But I feel like you have someone here that is a thrill seeker of life. They want to get to the other end of it. What is waiting over there? Why does no one want to get there? Why does no one do that? Why does no one do it like that? Like, someone is in love with the opposite of good, or things that are considered to be that. They want to create their level of what good is and live in it. Wow, okay. Someone is just not okay with how life is going, and they want to go against it because they feel like they can change the tide. But they feel like they're doing it with God. I feel like someone is falsely divinely guided, because it's just, they're not in the right path. So yes, God might be guiding them, but like, if anything, I feel like God is trying to get this person out of where they're at, but like, they're not listening. So someone keeps going the opposite direction, like, and disappointing God, disappointing their ancestors, disappointing their destiny, their calling, their north node, who they meant to become, because they're in love with that false identity they created, and they're comfortable with that. It's nice, it's pleasant. They don't want to face the real things. They don't want to tap into the real shit and really see what's going on with this life thing. Nah, they want to create an illusion comfortable enough to live in, so that they can bask in it and live in their truth in it, quote unquote, because it's not a truth that is of reality. It would be a truth of delusion. They just want to create it to be of reality. Someone is not okay with what life is. They want their own thing, like literally. Wow, this spirit is really aggressive. Like, I feel like this is someone that they don't mind attaining that level of power, whatever they have to do. What did we say about attainability? That process requires the breakdown. Someone isn't afraid of breaking down their shadow self to reach the ultimate peak of what it means to be that. I feel like you dealing with like someone here who's lost their ways, man. And I feel like maybe you don't want to see it like that, because as part of you feels bad or empathetic, or you see it, and because you see it for what it is, like, you wish you could do something. But God wants to tell you that like, people can only be saved by themselves first. They have to want it. They have to want saving. This is someone that they don't give a fuck about saving. Don't tell them about none of that. You know what I'm saying? So how can you help someone like that? You would be burdensome within that right, because you'd be weighing in on someone else's demons that they're not willing to get rid of. No matter what you try to say or do, they're just more powerful because they have a bigger bond. It's deeper than that. It's desire. It's in what they desire. Someone desires this and you can't stop that. Nothing is worth more than this to them. So that's why they do it. So this is to say that like in life, like you push for something long enough, you have it. Whether it's what you deserve or not. But the true wealth is in self, not in what self can do. Or who self is in the eyes of others. No. Who are you born to be? You were born. For what? That awakening of self leads us to our spiritual awakening, our spiritual journey. And it's either we get lost in what is comfortable in our awakenings, or we just keep going with it and flowing no matter what, and we just adapt like until we get to where God wants us to be, not where we are comfortable. And if you're not willing to push through the tide, you won't be able to take the waters. You'll drown. You'll be stuck in a loop. Which is where we are in humanity. A lot of people are stuck in a loop. And I feel like this is just one of the people that cross paths with you. You know them. And you see it. And you're so sad about it. I feel you. But what can you do? Literally, like, if you really feel like you can do something, like, what could you do? You know what I'm saying? As people, we only just that. We flesh. And a lot of things are spiritually based, whether we choose to see them like that or not, or whether the world has acknowledged them to be that way or not. But your lack of awareness doesn't take away its lack of credibility. It's still real. You're just not aware. You just don't have that understanding, that level of consciousness to form that understanding. Someone is truly lost and you see it and it hurts. But God is saying, you need to see the bigger picture. How else will they learn? They have to crash. Let them. That's how it goes. You let them. You try until you have to let go. And that's when it happens. That's when you set them free. And they have to learn. Like a child, you know, who it starts in incubation of the womb, where you fed by your mom's own food here. Like you eating the same saliva. That's where that creates the bond. Like those are powerful bonds. Birthing you. Then you need to do things yourself. You need to figure this out. And then on a bigger scale, you need to leave the home and figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's levels to figuring it out, basically. And I feel like you've reached a level where you're able to sympathize even with a serial killer, which can be dangerous if it's unbalanced. Don't be an unbalanced motherfucker. You know that these people are stuck in a loop. They're in a fool's journey. They're right where they need to be. Because that's where they're heading. It's like you can't stop the water. You just at some point just fucking swim, or learn how to swim, or just float. So it's like that's what life is. Like certain people you just gotta allow them to flow. They're way too fluid in their ways. They can't be stopped by anyone but their own destiny. And it'll catch up. Because that's what destiny is about. We're not here as tarot readers to say, yo, man, find your destiny, and we're doing this and it's easy for us. Now, we're really just trying to help humankind because we know what it's like to live in purposelessness, having no rank, no spiritual power. We know, and that's why we do this. The good ones. That's why they do this. That's why I do this, man. And I feel like you feel the same way. You know what it's like to be lost, and I feel like you feel sad for someone, and you really want it because you really wanted to help. I feel like this is someone you cared about. This is not anyone you never cared about. You You cared. And because you cared, the impact was different. And it took a long time for you to allow the tide, or to allow the fluidity of the water to just flow. As tarot readers, we're trying to gather you to your destiny, because we don't want you to get to the other side. We don't want you to get to your south node. If you know, you know. If you tapped in, you know, my tarot readers, you know, living in your south node, living in the opposite of where you're meant to be. It's in the blueprint. It's in the makeup, because God knows that there's good and bad. He knows that you can make either or. And he just really tries to get you to the side that is good for you. Not the side that feels good, is good. This person is still stuck in the trance, in the loop, that this is what is feeding the spirit the most, so this means that it's right. Nah. It just means that their spirit has disintegrated to that level of thinking. Someone's weakened more than they think. They're just lost in their source. They're lost in their God complex, because God can give it to us. You seek it long enough, he'll give it to you. Just to prove to you how much you didn't need it to begin with. Just so you lose it all. Because that's how you were pushing to learn the lesson. Yeah, I'm out. You know, I love you guys. I really hope that this brought you some form of closure spiritually. Brought you closure towards your healing journey. You know, to those who know of those in fool's journeys, or if you've been in one, or you're healing from one, you're recovering from one, like, I understand the empathic nature that you might have, but understand that you can't be in that unbalanced lens of looking at it, because that's how you can get easily manipulated. That's how you can get tricked. And to not be tricked is to see it in its truest form. Like, you can't even, like, someone here, you can't even lay your hand, because, like, this is bigger than you, you know? And I just feel like you just need to come to terms with that. No matter the love, the bond, the history, the care, some things are just bigger than you. They really are, you know? And before you learn that the hard way, let that person go. I'm gonna leave it like that. God is asking me to conclude this message. I'll see you guys. Until next time. Bye, beloved.